your transaction ratios of showing 10 properties and getting accepted turns into like you show 3 and then you get the third one accepted. I think on average right now, I think my last 2 clients, I showed 4 and wrote on both and got both offers accepted, meaning that the less education you know from an investment standpoint is really about the totality of real estate, it less empowers you for your clients. And so when you get to a process in which you are more confident and your knowledge base is so broad, you show 3 or 4 properties, you educate your client, they write it strong, boom, you get it accepted. Then you go back out there and write another offer for another client. Far too often when I got into real estate, I saw people showing 10, showing 15, and then a client saying, hey, I want to take a break. This market's just not for me. Somewhere within that process, the agent had to be responsible. Zach, what's going on? And so I say that to say that the more informed you become as a real estate investor, you'll find out that the window of time you're committing to a client, it shortens. And the shorter those time frames are, the better for your client, but also for you. Now you get to use your time for its highest and best use and go back out there with another client. You're closing 3 and 4 deals a month, and you're moving with speed and efficiency. That makes sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Gerald, what's going on?
What's up, big bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know what? I transposed those times. I thought we were 12:30 to 1:30, and then when you hit me back the other day, we were 1:30 to 2:30. So please forgive me, but
it's all good, bro.
You and I were still. I thought I was going to brunch too. I was like, okay, I take it personal. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely, bro. You good, man? Don't even worry about it.
Miguel, what's going on? Miguel, what's going on?
What's up, Jacob? What's up, everybody? Good morning.
We're in the building. We're in the building. Zach, what's going on? Zach, I see you, man. You getting those open houses up there, Zach? You're outside.
Yeah.
Are we all connected? Is everybody following Zach on IG? Is everybody following everybody?
Yeah, I think I got everybody on here.
Okay. You guys, do me a favor. If it doesn't make you uncomfortable.
My Instagram and the little chat thing, if I can find it.
Okay. If it doesn't make you guys uncomfortable and it doesn't go outside your brand or what you're doing with your own personal social media or business social media, if you guys see Zach post a property or Gerald post a property or Miguel post a question about a property, if you guys will repost it, not because we're not looking for likes, we're not looking for followers. Engagement is cool, right? But for like Zach, when he posts an open house or a listing that he has, I always try to make sure I repost it because I want to put that money back in his pocket. I want him to close that deal quicker. I want to support him, and it costs me nothing, right? And as long as we keep it tight like that, that level of just very simple support, man, who knows? That could have been the post that helped one of our team members get it over the hill.
Exactly.
Brian, what's going on? We got a full house today.
What up?
Brian, this is your first time on here. There's a lot of people. Everybody else kind of knows each other. Brian, who are you? Where you from? What do you do?
Yes, sir. So I'm here. I'm a realtor. A year and a half in, almost 2 years here in Sac, Placer County, mainly covered the Roseville area. I'm looking to get my first split right now. I've been focusing more on like retail stuff, focusing on new construction, and I did probate for a while, so I know where to find a few of that. So I guess running the numbers and making sure it works is what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm seriously looking for my first split right now. So I met Jacob and I'm like DM101. And then he's like, okay, yes, sir.
Let's go. It's all about finding a good deal. Me and Brian, we've connected several times through social media, a lot of meetups in Sacramento, Stockton. He's all over the place. Definitely, he's on his way. Brian, are you a real estate agent as well? A licensed agent?
Yes, sir.
There you go. And then you're trying to also track down your first deal. When we spoke the other day, I think that was Thursday, I was asking you about your bottleneck. What do you think that challenge is that's stopping the velocity of you tracking down that first deal? It's always different things.
But right now it's lead gen because I've been focused more on retail buyers.
Yes.
Sellers. So get it back into it.
Right.
I hit up a probate list before I stopped. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one quick item that we spoke about, but also share with the community is that routine is so important. Prospecting, lead generation, that is really how you win the deal. There's so many different things that are important. But what I learned early on in my career is that I didn't have a system in which I consistently did an activity or an action or a process that would over time lead me to a better deal or more deals, more access to deals. And so they're not just going to always fall in your lap. You got to do some level of work. So what I'm saying is, one of the things me and Brian, Jason, what's going on? Welcome in, Jason. Welcome in. Everyone, this is Mr. Jason Hamilton. I think he's our senior, so that's Uncle Jason to everybody. All right, great guy, wise guy, peaceful guy. Been knowing this guy for many years on and off. He's looking to track down some deals. He just did a program with Dash Nguyen out of Seattle. Jason's doing some incredible things, and you guys will be able to meet him. Jason, if you will, in the communication section, will you just drop your Instagram? That way we can all get connected with you. One of the things we're agreeing to do is if one of us have a listing or a property, if we can, we're just going to go ahead and repost it and keep our community tight. We're talking briefly about, in fact, let me pause on that. Jason, who are you? Where are you from? What are you trying to do in real estate investing?
Well, I'm Jason Hamilton. I'm born and raised here in Sacramento. I've been actually a real estate agent for over a decade now. Getting over into the investing side, starting with wholesaling and flipping. That's going to be the first move as I start also acquiring rental properties.
Good. Hey, thanks for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you. I know you personally already, right? You guys are going to be able to learn a lot from Jason. And he's just a solid guy. He doesn't switch up, but just like the rest of you. And so we were talking about lead gen just briefly. That's actually not what we're discussing today. But what I wanted to say is that when I look at lead gen, that activity has to be routine. So if you're doing it every single morning, every Wednesday, you allot time, 3 hours to whether it's cold call, door knock, hit your database, whatever it is. If you don't have a routine in which how you stay in touch or get engaged with new buyers and sellers, you're doing yourself a disservice. We need routine. So that's just something to think about, to each his own, all right? Let's dive right into it. So what I would like to know is, does anybody have any wins from this last week? Did anybody write up an offer? Did anybody get something tied up? Zach, did you find that duplex? Did you get that wrapped up? Does anybody have a win?
For that quadruplex, I called the guy a few times. I haven't heard anything back, so I've just been kind of sending them some information, whether to kind of figure out where he's at, what he wants to do with it, if he plans to fix it up.
Right.
But I've been focused on the listing. I actually put a listing up across the street from where my parents live.
Right.
We just put it up on Thursday.
Right.
We got an offer yesterday.
Good.
A little just over asking, but we're going to review everything on Monday. We're kind of going to give everybody a fair shot to submit what they want to submit. I've got word of probably 3 or 4 other people who are like, yeah, we want to send an offer.
Good.
So I'm waiting till Monday so we can review everything. But
Good.
besides that,
good.
It's going well. Just trying to focus on at least having some capital in case the deal comes my way that
Good.
maybe will require some sort of capital up front. I'll have something.
Good.
To kind of throw in there. That's kind of been something I've been working on for a while, is trying to build up the capital I have saved up to put it towards, first flip or first partnership, however I want to make it work. But
I'm glad you ended with that, because that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're
so it's kind of been my main thing I've been thinking about is
good.
Trying to really, really focus on saving up capital, whether it's, because if I'm doing real estate, I'm doing real estate, but I also do things like, like pressure washing, gutter cleaning, staining fences, that kind of thing, because it keeps me in front of people.
Yeah, and it's another way for you to generate some revenue. And
exactly.
we're about to touch bases on that. Last week we talked about Realtor.com. A lot of us that were on the call, we set up Realtor.com accounts. It's all about owning your backyard, owning your neighborhood, setting up a search, not necessarily to commit yourself to a deal. But by making a Realtor.com account, what this allows you to do is get hyper-focused on the neighborhood that you live in, know your neighborhood, know what items are transacting in your neighborhood, listings, price reductions, That way, when properties come on the market and we set our alerts up, you see them as they come. And having a blueprint like that allows you to really understand, how do I study a neighborhood? How do I master a neighborhood? Because most of the time, if we're real estate agents, for the most part, we set up parameters for our clients. And that could be in this zip code, this square foot. And that's not so much the perspective of an investor. And as investors, we want a realtor.com account so we can see what properties come on the market immediately, be able to see what they go pending for, see some of the challenges of them. And that way, when properties come on, we know very quick, we can do back of the napkin math. When properties in our neighborhood that we're focusing on, when they come on, we can say, well, that one will probably go for 350. That one will go for 325, because we've seen this pattern of a very focused neighborhood. And then with that information, as we get ready to prospect and close in on our first deal, success loves speed. So being able to look at a property, understand the neighborhood, understand what it trades for, you can call that agent very quickly and say, hey, will you write this offer for me for $300,000? I'm ready to go. I got cash. I can close in 10 days. Only thing I want to do is do a walkthrough of the property to confirm that what I'm seeing in the pictures is exactly what I'm making an offer on. That's it. That's a very, very advantageous way to get in front of deals. The other component about realtor.com we discussed was by also focusing on one neighborhood to get your blueprint that you can then take to other neighborhoods. One of the things you're going to see the agents' names that continue to pop up on the listings, or even on the buy side. You'll also see what agents are double ending deals, right? Because in California, you can do a double ender. You can represent the buyer and the seller. And so by having small data like that, you see what agent is prospecting and working in the neighborhood. You can call them directly and say, hey, do you have any potential flips coming on the market? And will you represent me? Because you know what their motivation is. There's nothing wrong with them getting paid twice, right? But now we get to start leveraging and gaining specific intentional relationships with people that can help us achieve our goals, right? And that's everything about realtor.com. But without further ado, what we're going to get in, this is all about deal mastery, right? We're always trying to understand deals, figure out how we can get in front of deals and how we can transact more deals. There's a component to the deals that doesn't necessarily pertain to mastering the deals, but it's a conversation I frequently have had, and I had most recently in the past. One of our team members, Ruby, she called me last week and she said, Jake, man, I'm really trying to do this investing thing, but it's the money. And I always hear that. And I thought that once upon a time, years ago. I no longer think that, because I'll tell you, I shared this story recently. I just closed up on one property, but I have another property right now, two. I've one in Fairfax and I've one in Stockton. Neither one of the deals will have a penny into the deal. Not a penny. But more specifically, the one in Stockton, I think you guys are familiar with, that's 1237 Commerce. That's the one I lifted, right? And I had all the termite damage and I gutted it and started from scratch. Well, that deal, the lender put up all the money for the acquisition and also all the money for the improvements. And you would say, well, Jacob, how do you do that? Well, the biggest thing is building relationships. But before I dive deeper into that, I want you to know that most people that scale real estate, even people that have millions and billions of dollars, they're not putting up their money. If not all, they might be putting some portion of their money. The larger institutions, they will connect with you based off your history. It's all about history. How many deals have you done? Have you had a successful track record? Can we become a financial partner with you, and can you get the deal done? That's all they want to know. And so for those of you that think that money is keeping you out of a deal, it's false, okay? So real quick note to that Commerce property that I'm telling you guys about. I found the property, spoke with the lender. The lender was actually familiar with the property, and I said they put up all the money. At closing, they wired me a large portion of money. I told them what it would take me to get the job done. They wired it to me. I'm still utilizing that money to get some stucco done now. And I got a roof coming on next week, and I have no money in the deal. Now, the only finance I could think I have in the deal is I bought my team lunch 2 or 3 times. That was off my own dime. I have gas money in which I drove to the property a few times, but that doesn't count. I have no money in the deal, and you could be there too. Now, let me rewind. One of the things that it took for me to gain relationships like this and be a success is what I had a track record of continuously buying property and flipping property and closing out and making profits. In the midst of it, I also continue to network. So I started meeting hard money lenders, private money lenders, and people with some money in their pockets. So over time, I was able to build relationships. And I was also able to build a proven track record. The property I have in Marin County, right, and off of I can't think of the address. Nonetheless, I have this high-end listing right now. I had a guy from LA call me and say, "Hey, man, I got this. I found a property. Man, let me know if you're interested. If you want to partner up, man, I'll put the money up. We'll close the deal. I have $0 in it." I went up there one time. I got some sushi, and another time I went up there, got some Thai food with some of my contractors last week. That's all I have, is gas and some food in the deal. The whole deal is financed, and I'm managing it, and I'll walk away guaranteed with 6 figures minimum, right? So you can do that too, but your track record is going to be so imperative. So how do we get there? So if you're saying, let's say like Ruby, I'm going to use it as an example. If you went to a private money person right now and said, "Hey, I want to get 100% financing," they're very likely going to tell you no, because you don't have a track record. So you say, "Jacob, how do I get from 0 to where you are, or where more advanced people are?" Well, there's a few different pieces that you can utilize, and I'm going to share some of those today. The number one thing that you guys should be focusing on and empowering yourself on and understand the value on is partnerships. When I do a deal with a private money lender or hard money lender, that is a partnership. The only difference is of where I'm at, and maybe Ruby, where your first deal is the terms of it. So I reach out, they give me 100% financing, there's interest, they make interest off it, they make some points on the front end, boom, done. It's like a guaranteed check for them because of my experience. For you, Ruby, you would do the same thing with a partnership. But what does that partnership look like? You will find a deal, Ruby, and there's financial people. There's people like myself, Zach, for sure, Gerald. Gerald has a construction company. Miguel has a certified 9-to-5, plus he has savings. Jason Hamilton, he's been putting his money up as well. What you're going to do is you're going to find a deal and then find partners. Early on, when I do 100% financing, all of the profits I keep outside of the expenses that I accrue from improving the property, which was loaned to me, and the interest that I paid. But outside of that, I net the rest. Early on, you have to give up something. In life, to succeed, you got to give up something. So your partnership might not look like you get 100% of the pie, because you're trying to leverage yourself, you're trying to get experience, you're trying to gain relationships, right? And you're trying to get that snowball. But how do you get into it with 0 money? You find the property and you call Jason, you call Miguel, you can call me. You can ask for a referral from anybody in this community and say, "Listen, I found a deal. I want to bring somebody in the deal, and we'll do a split. If you put up the money, I'll give you 30% of the profit, and I'll keep 70. We can go 50-50. Those terms are all negotiable based off what you think you can get the job achieved for and what they're open to doing. Now, again, you're still making money. You're still getting the experience. Because of the lack of recorded experience of transactions closed, you would be considered more of a risk. Less people would believe in you. But that's okay. They don't have to believe in you because you believe in you and we believe in you, right? So if you had a property that had the potential to make a gain of 100 grand, and you had to split that 100 grand up 70-30, you identify the property, you line up the contractors and get it over the hill. What's going to happen is you're going to give them 30% of the profit. You keep 70. That's 70 grand. That's more than 4 or 5 real estate transactions on average. You still have it beat, and you can get that done in 3 to 4 months. Are you doing an additional 5 to 7 transactions in 3 months? Maybe so, maybe not. So the profit you're making is outperforming very likely the real estate transaction. It's a very semi-passive way to do some activities with more confidence that you're going to get it closed. If you as an agent are going out there to show property to your client, you might have one client you show 10 properties to. That's a minimum of 10 hours. And there's a chance that you don't get the offer accepted. You can put 10 to 20 hours in on a flip and guarantee you're going to make your 70. So now we're talking about efficiency, we're talking about logic, and we're also talking about what's your overarching goal for a long-term play. Are you trying to commit your life to real estate agency? And that's fine. Or are you trying to put yourself in a position where you can gain the type of knowledge you're going to need that becomes proprietary, that allows you to scale your real estate portfolio and then choose to work with real estate clients if you so choose to or not? When we look at time, when we look at trying to buy back our time, right? I'm finishing up a book right now with my business partner. He's been drilling this book into me for like the last 6 months. It's called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I suggest you guys read it. I always understood the value of time. At least I thought I did. But as I read that book and began to mastermind with some of my team members and friends, I realized that I wasn't using the highest use of my time. Now, it may seem like I'm going on a tangent here, but it's so important because this concept in all things we do in real estate, your personal life, and even with your clients, it's so imperative. It is true that you can show, let me see, I think everybody but Miguel is a real estate agent on this call, all right? So if you go show your client some property on the weekend, you're gonna show 3 to 4. That, it's fair to say that could take you 2 to 3 hours. If you do that 2 weekends in a row, let's say 3 hours, that's 6 hours. So this weekend and next weekend, you spend 6 hours with them. But you also spend an hour consulting with them and getting them pre-approved to the lender. That's 7 hours. If you get that offer accepted the second weekend, you still have 3 to 5 hours minimum in which you're going to do inspections, you're going to go over appraisal, you're going to do disclosures, you're going to meet them at the notary signing, and they're going to have to give you the key. So I can count 15 to 20 hours you would be dedicating to make a check of 8 to 10, which is cool. It's cool. That's cool. But you can spend the same 20 hours. You can spend 3 hours looking for a great deal, and the other 17 hours executing the deal, getting contractors lined up, right? Getting the house ready for market, picking out some colors online, things you probably like to do, but also things that are going to help you scale. Because once you have the knowledge, once you have the experience, you can do 5 flips at a time. I think I have 4 going on right now. Now I'm tired, right? But the money I'm going to make off 4 flips will blow out anything I can do with the average transactions in a place like Stockton or Sacramento. On Stockton, Sacramento, after your average flip, average transaction, and brokerage fees, you're probably coming home with $8,000 to $12,000, right? That's cool. But if I'm thinking about buying back my time, doing the things that are going to give me the best yield, best return, make me happy, set me up for the future, the same time I utilize with helping one client, I literally can do 1 flip that's going to net 100 grand, and I'm going to give away 30 grand to my financial partner. I'll make 70 grand. I can get a little deeper about even that 70, but we'll save that for another time because it's all about the deal right now, right? And I don't want to walk away from that. But what I'm saying to you is, I wanted to discuss the whole concept of this money. You can find the money, and the money is out there. But building relationships is so important. Now, when you, that 70-30 split we talked about with somebody, a private partner, what happens is when you acquire the property, maybe you'll set your LLC up, right? You'll go on title, your partner go on title. Once you do 1 deal, you make 70. 2 deals, you make 60. The 3rd deal, you make 50. The 5th deal, you make another 70. Once you get 5 deals under your belt and you start going to other private money lenders, hard money lenders, when you fill out their application, you consult with them, they're going to say, hey, you're going to say, hey man, I know you do some 100% financing. I'm really looking for a product like that. I don't know if you're open or you're taking on any new borrowers, but I have a sweet property in the Spanos area of Stockton that I want to get over the hill. I want to know if you'll fund my deal. They'll say, oh, sure. Send it over to me. You'll send them the address. You'll tell them what you're about to get it locked up for. I'm about to make $120,000 on the deal. It's a great deal. It's not very intrusive, some minimal permits. Will you be a partner with me? You send them over the deal. Once they see the deal, all of these private money, hard money players, they understand real estate math. They get it. They know a good deal. They know errors. They're funding all over the place. So they would be interested in doing that. But the next question they're going to ask you is, how many flips have you done? That's what they're going to ask you. And if you can't say a minimum of 5, they will not take the risk on you. So let me back up. If you partner up and you give up 30% or even 50%, it's a sacrifice, but you're making money. But you have to get this repetition going. You have to get this experience going. That way you can get to the chapter of your life where you're getting 100% financing. And 100% financing means you keep it all. You have complete control over the deal. And when you do that, they'll fund 4 or 5 deals at a time. So to answer Ruby's question, she was asking me late last week, she said, well, Jacob, and let me give a shout out to Ruby. She's grinding. Ruby, you didn't give me permission to put your business out there. Ruby's raising her girls. She's grinding. She's trying to put deals together. probably doesn't always have the support of other agents, probably has agents hating on her. I don't know, right? But what I'm saying is that the sacrifices she's making, I understand how important it is for her to get to where she's going. I've been there, but I wasn't head of household raising 2 and 3 girls at a time. So shout out to her. But what I'm saying is that's why it was so important for me to take this deviation and really debunk this concept of the money. All of you probably know me personally. Well, all you do. And you know I wouldn't lie. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I wouldn't lie about this. The money is out there. You can get to it. If we can master the money, we can execute so many more deals. But what I want to empower you all with today, as you're walking into real estate investing, this don't have nothing to do with money. It's deal, debt, equity. If you find a deal and you have the experience, you can go get the private money. If you find the deal and you don't have the experience, you can go get a partner. If one of you brought me a deal right now that made sense, I'll put the money up. So what's the problem? It's not the money, it's the deal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that makes sense.
Ruby, you go first because I want to hear from you because you told me, you said, Jake, man, I don't know where I'm gonna get the money for a deal. So how do you feel? What are your thoughts?
I feel like I want to strategize my time, and instead of spending time on things that don't, I want to spend time on what's gonna flow. Like, you know, like I want to spend more time looking at deals instead of. So recently, I had a transaction fall through,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasted a lot of my time.
How much is a lot? How much is a lot?
I was really stressed out.
Real quick, Ruby.
got sick.
Ruby, how much is a lot of time? How much time did you have?
I would say about. I was working on other clients too, and my main focus was this client, and to find out. I would say probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Would you?
2 weeks of my time.
Do you think you put at least 10 hours in?
I probably put more hours in. I was
Okay.
up all night,
Right.
up early,
Right.
things
Right.
like that.
And the deal didn't fall. The deal fell out.
The deal fell out because someone in my office was telling the parents who was supposed to help fund the deal, telling the parents that when she comes back from vacation, she would help find a better deal, which is not true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It happens.
So
It happens. That's back. That goes back to time. That goes back to time. And I'm sorry that happened to you. Sorry. I'll add one other piece to the value of real estate investing. All of you know me personally. I always tell people what you see on social media, what you'll see in my personal life. There's nothing fake going on, right? I'll probably just cuss a little bit more in my personal life. That's it. Or if I see Jason Hamilton, I try to stiff him up, right? Buy me a beer, right? Whenever I see him at a meetup. But outside of that, this is what you see, what you get. One of the things that really turned me off as a real estate agent, that's why you see me heavy investing, is because real estate agency, it's so competitive and it's so much feelings and hate and all, but that's cool. That's just how the business goes. I knew I didn't like that because if I don't like somebody, I just tell them or I stay out their way. But real estate agency, you can get so much time wasted and lack of support and so many different feelings that I didn't even like that component of it. But when I got into real estate investing, right, I may or may not wake up and brush my teeth. I may or may not take a shower. Boom, I'm headed to a property. Boom, I'm headed over here to Home Depot. Boom, I'm going to connect with somebody. I'll take a phone call from home about some lending. It allowed me to buy back my time. And so we're going to stay deep into the concept of mastering a deal. So imperative. But what I really want you guys to master is the understanding of what you're getting from real estate investing. It's not so much just property. Property is great. It's not just so much money. Money's great. It's you get to be you. You don't have to conform to the nature of real estate investing. Or if you're not a real estate agent and you're working a 9 to 5, 9 to 5s are cool, but you don't get to be you because they say be here at 9. And if you're not, we're going to write you up. When you get into real estate investing, you get to be you. Right? And so that's one of the additional beauties of it is the things you get to say and do, the time you get to spend with your family, the things you want to do. It is the highest level of return. When you are a real estate agent, you run. If you don't answer their call, they'll say, you know what? If you can't show me a property, I'll find somebody else that can. And so that's cool. That's a cool baseline to generate some money. But when I get back to the concept of buying back your time, when I get into the concept of there's money out there, and by understanding that there's money out there and having a proven process to how you're going to achieve that money by partnering early on and getting experience, and then from that experience, allowing yourself to get 100% of the pie, I'm telling you, you can get into the deep concept of Deal Mastery 101 about tracking down a good deal, what is a good deal, how to execute that deal, and getting to a good deal. It's important that I debunk the myth and the feelings, because our feelings lie to us sometimes. Our feelings will tell us this. You'll drive by the Ferrari park, the Ferrari lot where they're selling cars, and you're saying, I just have to have it. I just have to have it. And I don't know any of you guys that have a Ferrari. I don't have one. But what I know now in my maturity is that, like, I know that if I go buy a Ferrari today, or Miguel goes buy a Ferrari today, the day you buy the Ferrari, it's dope. 6 months later, they can have it back. Come on. If I'm lying, I'm dying, right? So like where I'm at now is like, that's a nice Ferrari. I'm glad you got it, right? Because that's not what's important to me. So our feelings sometimes can lie to us and make us think, and our feelings make us think a certain way. So if we feel that we don't have access to capital, if we feel that being able to attain our first flip is unrealistic, if we feel that it's bigger than us, well, that's an emotional lie. Very similar to thinking that a Ferrari will make you happy. That makes sense?
Yes.
I want to open us up. Who wants to add to that? Gerald, you got something? Miguel, you got something?
I wanted to say, when I take down my first flip, I know I'm going to go to somebody that had done flips in the past, because it adds on value to my plate. And so the hard money lender or the private money will ask me, okay, if you've done flips in the past, please send me your track record. I'm sending Jake's track record, and Jake's going to go fund a deal, and I'm that much more credible.
Right. So
my strategy is to find Jake the flip. He's going to fund it, and it's ultimately our flip now. And so that just gets my foot in the door when taking out my own flip. So I believe in that wholeheartedly. That's
a good point, Gerald. I caught what you said. Let me try to add to what Gerald's saying. Gerald's saying this, but correct me if I'm wrong. Gerald's saying that he's going to find a deal. He's going to get into a deal. But he's saying, hey, listen, Jacob, because of your track record, I'll find a deal, and then you go speak to the hard money folks. You go tell them, hey, this is me, Jacob, again. I want to do another deal. Can you send me the money? When we take down the deal, what happened is Jake will be on the loan, right? Gerald will also be on title so he can get that experience, right? And then we'll take down the deal, but we'll leverage my experience and we'll leverage my relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You do that a couple times, and you keep your name on title. You keep your name in a position where you're pulling permits. So when you go talk to these people, you say, these are the deals I've done. Here are the pictures. When I bought it in 2023, it looked like this. I sold it January 2024, and it looked like this. And this how much I bought it for. This how much I sold it for. I had 50,000 in the deal, and then I made 100 grand. They're never going to ask who else was on title. You don't have to tell them. They're never going to ask, was it a 730, 60-40 split? You're going to say, look, this was my property. Most of the time, they won't even go look at all of the transaction, because they're going to be speaking to you. They're going to say, well, how much did you make off this one? Well, what was your second one? 123 West Street, 123 Lincoln Street. That one I had to put a roof, because you were there. You were a partner on the deal. You experienced it. Once they hear you talking, if I meet somebody right now, I can tell if they're doing any flips. I got a deal in Modesto going on right now, and there was just somebody trying to beat me out the deal. It doesn't make a difference. So I got on the phone with a person trying to play me a little bit, and he was like, well, I don't know. He was a wholesaler, right? He didn't ask my name. He just went straight in. He was like, well, You know, when you get into real estate investing, you got to understand it takes 30 days to close a deal. It takes this, it takes that. He just like kept trying to like school me, right? So I let him go. I didn't want to be right. This happened like 2 days ago. I said, well, look, man, I just closed 2 this week. It doesn't take 30 days to close a deal. If you need a hard money player, I'll give them to you. I said, how many flips have you done? Oh, I haven't done any. The company I work with, my manager, it was all this noise. And what I knew as he was trying to school me through this deal, I just let him talk because he was telling me all the information I needed to know about what he was going to offer on the deal. And then at the last minute, I dropped the bomb on him. I knew he didn't know anything. So if I was a lender, I never would have loaned to him. 1, because you don't know what you're doing. But 2, you're so arrogant that you don't have the approach of saying, hey, I want to learn more. So he just lost the deal. And I probably would have partnered with him. I say all this to say that your practice, your partnership, if you think that giving 30% away hurts, you're paying for your education, except you don't have to come out of pocket. You're bringing somebody on that's going to save you the potential of making a huge mistake, underestimating what it's going to cost to get the deal done. It's really a reward to be able to partner with somebody. And I'm not telling you to partner with me. That's not what I'm saying. If I can, with my community only, a lot of people hit me up to partner. I'm not doing it, right? If any of you said, Jake, I want you to partner with me, I would stretch myself in all the things I have going on to make sure you get to the deal. All right? That's all I want to see. I want to see everybody win. I want to see some testimonies. And if you said you're going to take the deal down by yourself, take the deal down by yourself, and I'll still be a resource. Miguel, talk to me. What you got going? Are you muted, Miguel?
Yeah, I was trying to get myself off.
What are you thinking about the partnerships and experience? What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely the partnerships. Yeah, they're definitely valuable. I had a little bit of a positive experience with building a relationship this past weekend. So
tell us about that. You shared it with me. Tell us about that.
So long story short, my wife has a cousin who has a riverfront property in the Delta, and it's in like a private community somewhat. And I asked the owner straight up, can you Airbnb your house? And just by asking that simple question, just trying to just small talk, that there was a house for sale right behind them. So that was kind of what led my question. So just by me asking that question got me a set of keys within 5 minutes to go check out the house. So we were walking the property. One of the neighbors was kind of spilling the beans on what the owner would take and wouldn't take. And so we checked that out. And then, I said, yeah, the house is nice, but, I really like the ones that are on the waterfront because the one we checked out was not on the waterfront. So just by me having that conversation, the lady mentioned, well, the house on the left is going to be for sale pretty soon, and the house on the right is going to be up for sale pretty soon. And as soon as they go for sale, or as soon as they tell me they're going to go for sale, like I'll let you know. So I kind of was able to get myself, not first in line, but definitely thought of in that. And then also based on our conversation on Friday. I decided, and then with your Ferrari analogy, I decided to not purchase those jet skis.
Let me tell them a story. So I was supposed to be meeting with Gerald actually, and I was trying to get ready for my meeting with Gerald. I popped out to grab one of my clients a gift, and me and Miguel's on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah," he told me the same story he just told you guys. He's in a very good position, communication, just like I told you with the wholesaler that was trying to gas me out the other day. I listened to everything he had to say. Miguel, at this compound where Miguel's at, he listened to the neighbor. He was very open with the neighbor. You know what the neighbor did? What any neighbor would do? Well, yeah, the lady right there, she's going through a divorce. Yeah, her husband, he was no good guy. And this guy right here, yeah, he's losing his property like this. And this lady right here, you could, look, she probably thinks you cute, Miguel. You really can get that. They did what neighbors will do. And we just stay quiet. There's nothing unethical about that because now you're compounding data. Right. And where Miguel is, he's so close to being able to position himself and make an offer on one or two of these properties. It's crazy, right? They're off market deals, and they know, like, and trust Miguel at this point. It was one of the couples were selling some jet skis on one of the properties, just a waterfront property. So Miguel's first thing was like, I'm gonna buy the jet ski, my cousin buy the boat, we're gonna do it. Mid conversation at our mastermind, I had it just be me. I said, Miguel, you better not buy them goddamn jet skis. We need this money right now. If you can get those jet skis for 10, great deal. But what happens is, as you're growing in real estate, look at our community right here. Outside this community, you guys may have one or two friends that will help you out financially. When I got in real estate investing early on, and I got deep in the deal and started making mistakes, and I needed another 10 to get the deal over the property, there was nobody that was going to save me. Fortunately, we have this community. You guys run into a problem, run it by me, right? We're all creative. We all have a few things going on, but we need the money right now, right? And if you let that 10 go out the door and you see 2 properties right now that you have access to, you need that 10. We don't know what for, but what will happen as each and every one of you begin to scale and get more confident, get more deals in front of you, get your experience, get your 100% financing. At that point, go buy your brand new jet ski. But it's so important right now to give up something and make the right sacrifice so we can start mastering deals. That's what we have to do. We got to start mastering deals. I'm no longer doing a ton of residential flips. I'm not. As I kind of share with you all, I'm scaling some multifamily right now, raising some capital, doing some things like that. That's where a lot of my attention is. And then the rest of my attention is with deal mastery, trying to put on the appropriate events, make sure I bring on the right value, and make sure I get the right, very soon here, I'm going to be bringing on some guests. Gerald's going to be doing some things. Zach will be doing some things, all of you as well, but bring on the right guests to make sure I bring you some value, because you guys already know me. I'm bringing you as much value as I can, but there's people that are doing things that I'm not doing. And I want to make sure I bring those people on to bring that type of value, right? And so any residential deals that I get thrown my way, you're not going to see me take them. I'll hand them off, no problem. But it would suck, Miguel, if Gerald said, hey, I got a deal, or I came across a deal and I got ready to shoot it to you, and you only have enough money to close. You're like, well, I got enough money to close, but I don't have enough money for improvements. Or I have enough money to close, and I have a partner. I got a partner that's going to put up all the money to close the deal and finance the deal, 70-30. But here's what happened. You still have a personal life. You still got bills, you still have family. So we don't let this money sneak out the back door, because real estate investing, when you first get on, it shocks the hell out of you. There's so many moving components, right? So the last thing you need is to be going through a deal and then you can't pay your mortgage. Going through a deal and then you got a truck payment. Going through a deal because you're committing so much time early on. There are other things you're not doing. So to get financially stressed in the deal is the worst thing you can do, because you'll think it's over, right? And so that's why I want to encourage you guys. We have to give up something. But in short, Miguel ended up not buying the he ended up not buying the jet ski, which I think was a great idea. Because in a year from now, 2 years from now, you may go buy them off the lot. You flipping three or four properties every quarter. Go buy the big boys with the superpower, and then invite us all out there to the lake the house you buy on the lake, invite us out there for a barbecue. I'll bring the steaks, right? That's how that goes. Jason, what's going on?
Yes, sir.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's happening, man?
Give me some insight in regards to, I mean, you have a lot of experience, right? Some of the things we're talking about in regards to financing and scaling, and I know you was with Thatch as well. You got a small excerpt or a nugget that you kind of leave us with in regards to the concept of what we're talking about?
Well, going back to the partnerships that you talking about, I mean, I think that could be invaluable. I was just talking to my wife about that last night, and was like, because, and I've shared with you in the past that my daughter's trying to get started.
Yes.
And so I'm working on a deal right now that I'm bringing her in on, just so she can get experience. And we have someone that I'm going to hand off to her, that he can train her up on this deal that I'm trying to put together. Actually, I want to share this deal with you too, because it may be something. I don't know if you're doing anything in East Oakland, but I have yeah. Like, it's in the worst part of East Oakland, but I have a duplex out there that, you know, I could put it on the market if I want, but I'm trying to do something different with it.
Do you already have it tied up?
It's not written, but yeah, basically, I've already helped this guy sell property. He doesn't live out there. He lives in Virginia, so he trusts me to handle everything.
Okay, I'll say, even before you dive into that, there's some people in our community, people on right now that, if you're looking for contractors, Gerald does some contracting, right? If you're looking to raise some capital, there's a couple of people that are on this call right now that would love to somehow either be employed or bring some value, even myself. But I'm glad you brought that up, because if the deal makes sense, you're taking it down, and we're going to make sure you get it done.
Yeah, if you got some time, man, and you want to drive down to East Oakland, we can walk the property. I've been down there and looked at it.
Let's hop, as soon as we get done with this, let's hop on a call. Let's walk through it, and let's walk through.
We're done with this. I'll call you later on today, because I got to get ready. I have, you know, real estate agents, we don't have our time. I have to go meet some people.
Come on, give it to me. That's all I wanted to hear. And that's the cool thing, is because like I said, I've been through the journey as a real estate agent and a real estate investor, and there's just something to be said. I met some heavy real estate investors early on, and I was like, man, you don't want to have a license? You don't have a license? I'm not dissing the license. Have both. And be in a position where you're really choosing the things you want to do. You got something else for us, Jason?
Not right now, man. I'm new to your group. I just want to listen to what you guys are talking about.
Man, we appreciate you for hopping on. We really do. We really do. Brian, you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you got for us, Brian?
Looking at these wholesale lists right now, gonna go take a look at one of Bobby's deals that he has right now. So I set an appointment to take a look at it. It's the one in Oliver's. I don't know if you saw it, but it's on Powerline Road. It's on a busy street, so I'm having like mixed signals about this, but I'm partnering up with my contractor on this, so an investor. So we're coming all in. So I just want to get my feet wet, honestly.
Well, do this for me, everybody. I want you guys. I mean, you all. Many of you know Bobby. You can reach out to Bobby. You can find the property. If you will, Brian, send us after you see the property. Will you send us some pictures?
Yeah,
and
I got pictures right now. They have a Google Drive.
Okay, well, we don't want to chase the deal that you're chasing. There's more deals that we can go chase, but we would like to know your experience on it. And so maybe if you can drop those photos in there, so we can get visuals of kind of what you're pursuing, and kind of go on the journey with you as you pursue it. And maybe you could tell us your analysis of the good and the bad of the property. One of the things you said is on a busy street. Anytime you're looking at properties on a busy street, that's going to take a hit. That hit could be 15 to 20 grand, sometimes more. Right? And then we're going to be looking at the condition and the neighborhood, things of that nature. But one of the things that I want to continue to always hammer into you guys is the more deals you look at, the more deals you analyze, the more deals you go to, the more confidence you have, the more understanding. That's why we talked about realtor.com, because by setting up that drip campaign in the neighborhood you live in, you already know your neighborhood. But when you start seeing these houses transact, you will have a very clear idea of what is going on in your neighborhood and what property should go for and what you should make a competitive offer for. You'll have an idea of what other experienced investors are going to make an offer for. When properties come on the market in my neighborhood, I know what they're going to write it for, 100%. Right? And by understanding that, I know if I where I need to write it, or are there ways that I can be more competitive against other investors, right? Like, I know everybody's going to write it at 225. Let me go see the property. I don't need to replace that roof. I can patch it and get a 2-year warranty. Patch it for $1,100, warranty $200. That's $1,200. $5,000 is going to keep people out this property. So if I know everybody's going to write it 225, I'm writing it at 219. 10-day closed on inspections. Most people are going to say, oh man, you're not going to make any money. Yes, I am. I have a very good idea, because I know most people are trying to make about 40 grand. Right? So by simply going 5,000 less because I know some of the challenges most people are looking at. Most flippers don't do their own projects and don't really understand investing. They buy a property, get a contract, and they walk away. Our technique's a little bit different. We understand our neighborhood and we understand contractors. We're not contractors, but we understand it, and that's how you get a leg up on your average flipper. They're going to narrow it out, box it out, narrow it out, box it out, right? And suppose you get the property, you beat them by $5,000, you get it tied up, and then you actually do a really good job of putting paint and curb appeal, and you get 10 to 15 to 20,000 more on the property, because we're always going to be conservative on the front end. Well, when you sell a property, and most of your agents, most investors aren't agents, they're not going to list their own properties. So what's happening now? By understanding your neighborhood, you understand where most people are going to write it and what agents are double ending property. When you write that offer, you're pretty damn confident you're going to get it executed. You have the right debt on the property as well. You do a good job on the property, and when you list it, you also beat the other investors because you're listing it for yourself, so you're not paying a commission, right? So then you list it correctly. You represent yourself, right? Here's the other thing: as your agent trying to scale it and make more money and get to the point where you can invest in yourself, you're creating your own inventory. As a real estate investor and a flipper, I create my own inventory. I produce another 10 to 15 properties that go on the market per year. So from a marketing standpoint, people want to list their property with agents that have motion, activity, volume, right? So why wouldn't that reposition you in your office, reposition you with other agents? Because the other agents want to accept your offer because you're going to accept their offer. So when you start producing your own inventory, and then you write an offer on another agent's property, why would they not look at it? I mean, if you don't look at my offer, don't worry about, as I produce my own inventory, you don't even worry about writing an offer on it, right? And it's not like, I'm not saying don't write an offer because you didn't accept mine or look at mine. I own this house. I can sell it to whoever I want to sell it to. And if you're not even calling me back on my properties, I'll rip up your contract. Who are you going to call? It's my property. Now, I'm not saying that that happens. What I'm saying, there's power in producing your own inventory. There's power with understanding how to navigate a deal. There's power with growing yourself in real estate in a very effective manner. It makes sense?
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So for example, right now, me, I do have a good relationship with, I don't know if you ever worked with Stockton Mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're about Pacific. The owner passed away about a year ago, but I know those folks.
Okay, so I closed my first new construction deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very good relationship with him
Mm-hmm.
and his daughter
Mm-hmm.
and one of the girls in the office.
Mm-hmm. I can't hear you. The last thing I heard you say was one of the girls in the office, Ruby.
I said I have a good relationship because I closed my first new construction deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent a lot of time together, me, his daughter, and him, and one of the girls in the office.
Right.
So how can I benefit from that? Because you said 100% financing from a hard money lender.
Right. Disclosure, I know, I think Stockton Mortgage is a good company. I know I hear mixed reviews. I think the people that say the best things about Stockton Mortgage, and again, I can't say anything negative because I don't have anything negative to say. There's some challenges, right? By having the key relationships with the decision makers there is really how I think most people in my experience tell me they have good experiences. But that's like it with all private and hard money lenders. It sounds like you have a very good personal relationship. So when we have personal relationships, we push people through. Anybody that's in this community, if I saw you like at, I don't know, Pizza Hut, come on in, come with me, let me buy you a drink, right? You push people through. So the first thing is you're in a very advantageous position because you have a very personal relationship and you have a business relationship. That goes back to producing your own inventory, scalability, and productivity. The more deals you send to them and work through them with, you begin to be in a position. Like I have a relationship with the One Hard Money Company, right? I send them a lot of people. I don't ask for anything back. I know that when I ask for a favor, like, hey, I need you guys to close this deal this day, or I need to do, 90% LTV, right? Or whatever adjustments I need to make, they never tell me no. So how can you benefit from that relationship? One of the first things you can do is continue to double down on the referrals, right? By sending people to them, and be very intentional. When you send a referral to them, you call them back. You say, "Hey, Jason, hey, how that deal go with Ruby? Ruby, I sent you over. I'm not in Ruby's business, but was she able to close that deal? Okay, I'm happy for her. I want to make sure I call her and congratulate her, right? That I really do want to congratulate Ruby for closing her deal. But also as a businessman, I want to tell Jason, that's score number 3. That's score number 4, right? I'll leave it, Jason, man, it's like our 7th deal, man. We got to grab a coffee. Sure. Let me put you in remembrance that this is the 7th referral I gave over to you. And then don't be afraid to ask. This is a business. It can't be just one way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not dissing lenders. Lenders love it to be one way. And so you have to ask. And if when you send 7 people, 5 people, and you go for your ask and they tell you no, shut the relationship off. But I don't know if that answers your question.
It did. So the next step I will do is find the deal and I can show it to them and you and whoever else in the community.
Yes.
Here.
So what you're saying is that you're saying is you're trying to position yourself with them to get the loans.
Yes, I want to plan so I can execute.
Okay. All right. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go a little bit deeper in that with you. And then even when we start next week, that's what we'll do is we'll start next week with the challenge you had and then some of the ideas we talked about and where you went from there. Okay. And you can share that with the community. How does that sound?
Okay. That sounds good.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, for the sake of time, we have about 3 minutes going on. Is there anything that you guys want me to work on this over this next week and bring to you? Ruby's going to work on that relationship. Any questions?
Let me think. I was going to ask you a question earlier, but now it's still in my mind.
Go. Let's do this. Drop it in the group chat. How does that sound?
Thinking my question. I'll remember my question and I'll put it in there.
Okay, right on. I appreciate you all. Gerald, I'm going to be reaching out to you. If you guys need anything, let me know. This is Deal Mastery 101. This is another week down. I hope I brought you guys some value. Please utilize the group chat. Drop any questions in there. Anything I can answer or solve for you, we'll make it happen in the communities here as well. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
I have a question, actually. I had a quick question. Maybe you could shed some light on it. But any particular ways that you go and try to find private or hard money as far as like outreach?
Good question. I'm going to not only share that with you, we'll share it with the group as well. It's a little more extensive, but I mean, you know a lot of the ways, but I have it in my notes, and that's what we'll work on, and then we'll dovetail that back into Deal Mastery. How does that sound?
Right on, yes,
okay.
Sir.
Hey, you guys have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for coming. Let's keep grinding, and I'll see you guys next Sunday, and we'll also interact in the group chat.
All right. Carry on.
All right. Thank you.
You all take care.
Thank you, Jacob.
All right. Take care. Happy Sunday.
Just say peace to everyone on Instagram.
IG, thank you. See you next Sunday.
Let me stop the live stream.